Good evening. This is the video newsletter for Buy Sell Short for Tuesday, October 19th. Ugly session today on Wall Street. One point we had the Dow down 220 plus points. We ended the session down 165, and we had a bunch of different news flow out there as possible reasons for it. But the really big one was the dollar was up huge today, up 1.4%, which in currency terms is a massive move. And actually, let's look at the dollar here. This chart, actually, let me. Nice technical bounce on the dollar. And the reason for the move on the dollar, China raised their interest rates overnight, and that sparked a large bounce in the US dollar. And as you very well know, whatever way the dollar goes, the market goes the opposite. And we've been saying that over the last few days. We also had earnings after hours. Apple disappointed the street. Stock was trading $2.99 after hours. Put on a massive squeeze on those shorts really after the open and ended up bouncing back $13 and is still above last Thursday's price. And we also had a nice bounce in the financial stocks, and that, of course, reversed course late in the day. Last 90 minutes of the session, really what drove the market down to its new lows is news came out that PIMCO and the New York Fed were suing Bank of America to force them to repurchase $47 billion in mortgages they had out there, and that just caused a stampede in the financial stocks. It caused a flight to safety into the dollar, and that's where we stood. All in all, just a really ugly session today. Looking at the Dow 15-minute chart, actually, this is the first time in the last month or so that we've seen such a steep decline. And looking at the daily chart, we got that touch of the 20-day exponential 10-9-13 before we had that late day pop. So, this move down was not all that unexpected. I did mention that it was a possibility in the Sunday video. Over the last few days, we have been going higher cash. If you have not been going to a higher cash stance, now is the time. Whenever you see bounces over the next couple of days, we'd be looking to be at least 50%, if not more. Ideally, 60 to 75% is the ideal cash stance right now. And also, try to limit the number of plays you're sitting in. Right now, 10 or less plays is probably the best position to be in. And the reason we're doing that, remember, we are traders. We are not investors in stocks. And I know, for some traders, it's very, very hard to sell a stock that has a loss in it. That's where big losses come from. Refusing to say, hey, you know what? I screwed up in a play, or it's not working the way I thought. I'm going to sell it. It's a small loss. Big deal. I'll make it back on the next trade and moving on. Some traders, have a difficult time actually, going through and following through and selling when they've got a loss on a stock. But if you find yourself, especially in a market like this, overloaded on plays, low cash, it's very hard for you to go out and buy new plays or buy ridiculous sell-offs in stocks. And, oftentimes big dips like this in the market usually give fantastic scalp opportunities. You'll see a stock dip really big and then run really big once money starts rushing back into the market. QE2 news was out this morning. We had one of the Fed governors come out and say he wants a really big stimulus package from the Fed. The shorts, of course, longs are running from the market, and the shorts had the ear of the business media. So the business report you saw circulating where QE2 is going to be less than expected. It's only going to be $100 billion. What the Fed actually said today was they're looking at doing $100 billion a month as needed. That's more than what they did in 2009 when we saw the market run 50%, just to put things into perspective right now. So the QE2 is still on target. China threw a little wrench in the works today, but the dollar was due for a technical bounce, especially coming into the election. So really no surprise at all. As for tomorrow, again, it's going to depend on what the dollar does in overnight trading. We had a big run from the commodity stocks today as a result of China and a rush into the dollar. What Asia does overnight remains to be seen. The dollar is going to determine where this market goes, at least in the near term, until the Fed liquidity starts to get pumped into the market, and we've got the Fed meeting as well and the elections first week in November. And, We are up, what? We've been up 8 weeks now. A little retrace is to be expected. If we do see a break through that 10,900 level on the Dow, next support level we're looking at is 10,700, and then the 50-day moving average down there at 10,600. You know, I hear traders just going, crap, the market's falling. But, new plays have been few and far between. We last couple of weeks have just been fantastic, but we're running out of stock plays, and we need a retrace in the market to reset the clock and reset plays. So, I mean, look at retraces as, a good thing in the medium term. SMH, big sell off early in the day, traded as low as 27.55 and then had a monster reversal, ended up going green late in the day before that late day, Bank of America financial rout in the market just pretty much sent sell programs throughout the market. Again, that $29 resistance level remains in place on the SMH. We tested that 20-day exponential. I would possibly be looking to add the SMH if it got down there to the 200-day moving average at $27. $26.75, $27 is where we would look for a new scalp entry on the SMH. Going into stock plays, CDII, like a lot of the metal stocks, commodities were just taken to the woodshed today, and then something really strange happened late in the day. Word came out that China is again limiting exports of materials, and we had a couple of stocks. Actually, let me pull one of those up right. SHZ, going into the last hour. Remember, this is a stock we picked a week ago at $1.12. After hours, the stock is trading at $2.85. The momentum traders are out there in force. And as a side note, when you see stocks like SHZ or ABK run on news flow and run crazy, it's usually a good sign that the market, craziness is still out there. We are seeing a reset in the market, but there is still lots of action in select stocks, and we've got that news flow and big move in after hours, and as a result, CDII got taken to the woodshed, especially in the last hour. You had a lot of stops taken out on sell programs, but this stock really is not run like these other stocks, and I'd be really surprised if we don't see this one bounce back above the 200-day moving average tomorrow, especially given what SHZ is doing in after hours trading. PKT, disastrous turn of events on this one today. Along with the market sell-off late in the day, this one broke through 50 cents, and that just triggered an avalanche of sells. And as I've mentioned in the chat room over the last couple of days, some of our worst performers over the last couple of weeks have been stocks trading on the Scamex market. Scamex is my name for Amex. A lot of the plays, we had a trading alert yesterday on INO. Let me pull that one up. Biotech play, infectious disease stocks are running. We jumped into this one at 122. I sent an alert out because it was not acting right, to take the loss, move on, just because of the way it was trading. Guess what index it trades on? Yep, Amex. So we've got a lot of our recent laggard plays trading on the Amex stock or Amex index. So for that reason, for at least now, we're going to back off playing on these Amex stocks. That was a personal rule of mine going back many years. Sometimes it's almost better to trade the pink sheet over-the-counter stocks than to trade some of these Amex stocks just by how they act. Not saying run from the hills on these stocks. PKT would look for a bounce to exit on this one. I still think this is a gem of a company. The problem is the index it trades on. And, we really need that 58 cents break on this one to get going. IPAS, again, like many plays today, we had a breakout play going, and then the market just got shook out big time. Green market tomorrow, we will see the stock bounce back. But again, if you're uncomfortable in your plays right now, or you're not high enough cash, a good flush of your old plays or a good flush to comfortable levels is not something you should not do. I mean, if you're feeling uncomfortable to play, definitely sell and move on. Another one of those stocks, ABTL, looking fantastic on Friday. Low volume retrace today, lack of volume, hidden seller in there, just pounding the stock, and we're back down to the lower trading range. Obviously, the stock needs a close above 90 cents now in order to break out. So, again, I would be looking for bounce backs to sell this one. Looking at the chart, it's trading at a bottom. There's no real reason to run for the hills on this stock. This is a stock that sees 84 cents plus every single day. No reason to think it's not going to happen again tomorrow or on a green market. It's just the market environment right now, the momentum is just not there. And when the momentum's not there, we step back and wait for it to come in, or we move to the sectors that are looking good. MAG, trading alert yesterday, stock still looks good. If you've got risk tolerance, 115 is your stops. 135 plus is your target on this one. Again, play with stops in place, or sit on the sidelines right now. The way this market is right now, if the dollar sells off tonight, we could see the market up 150 points tomorrow. It's just that kind of market. The dollar is determining where stocks go right now, and that's, there's no use trying to fight that trend. As I've been saying in the chat room, over the last week or so, don't be afraid to raise your cash levels. You actually should be raising cash levels, especially on pops. And, any stocks that you're sitting on, that you've been sitting on for more than 3 weeks, or they haven't had a pop in the rally over the last 2 weeks, seriously consider moving out of them and waiting till they get some strength or break key resistance levels on the upside. You can always rebuy a stock on a breakout. Just because you sell a stock for loss doesn't mean you can't rebuy the stock. You sell a stock, play another stock, make a gain, wait for that stock that you've been sitting on to make its move, and then rebuy it and, get the gain in a short period of time versus hand sitting on a play for forever and a day. So, that's it for the video tonight. If you've got any questions on any plays, just feel free to send me an instant message in the chat room during the day, or shoot me an email if that's easier for you. But again, would be looking to raise cash, just for a fresh perspective so that we can be ready for the next move in the market. We don't want to be hamstrung holding a bunch of plays that aren't doing anything, and then when we see nice buying opportunities, not being able to go out there and rebuy them. Being a successful trader, all you need to have happen, is 3 or 4 plays out of 10 are winners. And if there's 5 or 6 plays that are losers, if you sell them when they hit your stops and you move on to the next play, over the long term, you do better. So going into tomorrow, really the only long play, at least for now, that I'm looking at that we could get a possibly nice little run on is CDII, just based off the move we're seeing on SHZ and after hours. So that's it for the video. I will see you guys in the chat room tomorrow. Good night.